I never used to think about time. Growing up, there seemed to be so much time that I had trouble figuring out how to fill it all up. The future seemed endless, and dying was so far away, as if it might not ever happen to me. It was just some scary thing that happened to old people. I'm watching my kids grow up in a world I don't recognize. Now, time is all I think about. When will Congress agree on something? When will my kid clean her room? When will there be real social reform? When will I find the time to finish writing my book? When will the quarantine end? When will I see something positive and inspirational on Twitter or the Washington Post? I've paid more attention to politics over the past few months than all the previous years of my life combined. Like every American, I was looking to our leaders for a spark of hope, someone to show us the way out of this mess. Between the reporting on the coronavirus, racial upheaval, and the upcoming election, I'd never seen such an outward division amongst Americans. Edgar Mitchell was an astronaut who flew on the 14th Apollo mission. When asked what it was like to look down at the Earth from the moon, he said, "You develop an instant global consciousness, a people orientation, an intense dissatisfaction with the state of the world, and a compulsion to do something about it. From out there on the moon, international politics looks so petty. You want to grab a politician by the scruff of the neck and drag him 250,000 miles out and say, 'Look at that, you son of a bitch.'" I spend more time thinking about plot twist and when to use a semicolon instead of a comma than I do social reform. I don't have the answers, and I'm not standing on some soapbox claiming to be an expert. But I know that the answer lies somewhere in all of us growing up a bit and uniting as a people. We should be conquering the stars, streaking across the sky like giants. And when the nation is broken by slanderous narratives, it's our children who pay the ultimate price. Looking at my eldest daughter, I know she doesn't feel like she has an infinite amount of time, not in a world so full of hate. It's not often that I find myself stumbling for the right words, but I'm not one for grandiose speeches, so I dug up the words of another artist from the 1940s, whose message needs to be heard by humanity today as much as it did then. This is Charlie Chaplin's final speech from The Dictator. "I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone, if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there is room for everyone. And the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical. Our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children. Victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves up to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourself to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, "The kingdom of God is within man." Not one man nor a group of men, but in all men. In you. You the people have the power. The power to create machines. The power to create happiness. You the people have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then, in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future, and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate, and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite.